If you're relocating to Northeast Florida and you have no idea where to actually live, this will be the only video you need to watch. I'm gonna break down every major area, the lifestyle, the price points, and who exactly each one is built for, so stay with me. I'm Gregory Grant. I help buyers just like you. People relocating from out of state, families who are fed up with the cold, empty nesters who are finally ready for their next chapter, find the communities and the homes that are the perfect fit for their lifestyle right here in Northeast Florida and into it. Now let's start with Jacksonville itself, because Jacksonville honestly gets underestimated and I genuinely don't think that it's fair. Jacksonville is the largest city by land area in the contiguous United States. Let that sink in for a second. This is not a small town. This is a real city. Professional sports, world-class healthcare, a growing downtown. You've got incredible restaurants, live music, parks, and access to the beach, all within the same area. In the lifestyle here, y'all, it's just different. You've got the St. Johns River running straight through the city. You've got beaches 20 to 30 minutes away, just depending on where you're sitting. You've got warm weather year-round, and you've got a city genuinely growing and investing in itself right now. Downtown Jacksonville, it's really have seen more development in the last 5 years than it has in the previous 20. This is a city on the move. Now, here's what I want you to understand about Jacksonville. It is not one neighborhood. This is a city made up of very different areas, each with its own feel, its own price point, and its own lifestyle. So let me walk you through how I think about the different sides of Jacksonville. So starting with the south side, this is where I see the majority of my relocation clients kind of gravitating when they choose Jacksonville. This is where you're gonna find newer construction, strong shopping, so like the St. John's Town Center, good dining options, major employer corridors, and just easy access to both downtown and the beaches. The lifestyle here is suburban, but it's connected. You don't feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, but you also get that breathing room. Price points on the south side for new construction, they're generally sitting in that $350 to $600 range, depending on the community and the builder. And there are some really beautiful options out there. Now, the north side of Jacksonville is where you're gonna find more value and more space. You know, it's a growing area, new development is coming in, infrastructure is improving, and for the buyer who wants to get into Jacksonville at a more accessible price point, while still being close to like major highways and employment, the north side is worth paying attention to. You can find homes here in the $250 range all the way up to the $400 range. And as the area continues to develop, the buyers who got in early, they're gonna be very happy that they did. Now, the west side of Jacksonville has a very different feel. It's more established, more working class roots, and it tends to attract buyers who want that neighborhood feel with a longer history. The west side is also your connection point to areas like Orange Park and Clay County. So if you're thinking about that corridor, the west side serves as a natural bridge. Price points here, in my opinion, are some of the most affordable in the entire Jacksonville market. Now, the Arlington and Beaches corridor, if you want to be close to the water without paying full beach prices, this part of Jacksonville is going to be very interesting to you. You've got the intercoastal, you've got access to the beaches, and you've got an area with a very distinct laid-back coastal lifestyle. You can find really solid options in the 300s to the 500s range out here. And then of course you've got downtown and that urban core. Now, I'll be honest with you, this is for a very specific type of buyer. If you're relocating and you want the walkability, that city living experience, Riverside, Avondale, San Marco, these are the historic neighborhoods with coffee shops on every corner, local restaurants, the weekend farmer markets. It's just a beautiful lifestyle, but it's a different lifestyle than the newer construction communities. So here's the bottom line. Jacksonville, it gives you options that no other part of Northeast Florida can match. Whatever your budget, whatever your lifestyle preference, whatever your commute situation, that's a big one, there is a part of Jacksonville that fits. No state income tax, no personal income tax, property taxes that are gonna make most of my out-of-state clients just drop your jaws compared to what you're used to paying. And y'all, the weather, I genuinely do not take it for granted for a single day. Okay, so now we're moving into what I personally think is one of the most exciting areas for relocating families in all of Florida, St. Johns County. St. Johns County is consistently ranked as one of the best counties in Florida for education. The school district here has an A rating from the state of Florida, and that's not an accident. That is a result of community investment, parental involvement, and genuinely excellent schools at every level. And if you have kids and the school question keeps coming up, it's keeping you awake at night, as you research where to move to, St. Johns County has got to be at the top of your list, full stop. Nocatee, if you've been doing any research at all about Northeast Florida, you definitely have come across Nocatee, and there's a reason it keeps coming up. Nocatee is a master plan community. And when I say master planned, I really mean that they have thought of everything. Multiple community pools, water slides, fitness centers, social events, golf cart paths, restaurants, shopping, all within the community itself. It's almost like a city within a city. Homes here are starting in the high 300s, and they do go well into the millions, depending on the builder and the neighborhood within Nocatee. Builders like Toll Brothers, David Weekley, Dreamfinders, they're all out here building beautiful homes. Now, I'll be real with you, Nocatee has a CDD fee, which is a Community Development District fee. That covers the infrastructure and amenities. It gets added into your tax bill. So when you're budgeting, make sure you factor that in. But for what you get in return, the amenities, the communities, the schools, a lot of my clients feel like it's absolutely worth it. Now, Ponte Vedra and Palm Valley, this is your premium St. Johns County option. Ponte Vedra is one of those names in real estate that really just carries some weight to it. You're talking proximity to the beach, gorgeous new construction communities, and a lifestyle that just feels elevated. Prices here are going to start in the 500s and move quickly into the millions. This is where I see a lot of my buyers who are coming from more affluent markets up north. You're going to feel right at home here in Ponte Vedra because the level of finish and the community quality, it matches what you're already used to, but at a fraction of what you're paying back home. St. John's and Fruit Cove, these areas sit right in the heart of what makes St. Johns County so desirable. You've got newer construction, you've got great schools, you've got that suburban feel without being so far out that you lose access to everything that Jacksonville has to offer. Bartram Ranch is out here. It's a great example. I've done multiple tours in Bartram Ranch, and it is a stunning community. You're looking at homes in the 400 to 700 range, primarily in St. John's, and that's arguably the sweet spot for the relocating family that wants quality, schools, and value all in one place. So who is St. Johns County for? Honestly, it's for families who are serious about school quality, quality of life, and building roots in a community that's going to continue to appreciate in value. The growth out here has been incredible. I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. Now let's talk about the beach communities, because for a lot of people who are relocating to Northeast Florida, this is honestly the dream. And I want to make sure you have a realistic picture of what living near the beach actually looks like. So you've got Jacksonville Beach, Neptune Beach, Atlantic Beach, and then further south you get into Ponte Vedra Beach. Specifically, these are 4 distinct communities that all share the same beautiful coastline but have very different personalities and very different price points. Jacksonville Beach is probably the most accessible of the 4 in terms of price. You can still find homes in the 400s here, though of course that number does climb, and it has climbed in recent years, but it still has that classic beach town feel. It's laid back, it's walkable, surf culture, great restaurants on the water. If the beach lifestyle is a non-negotiable and the budget matters, Jacksonville Beach is your entry point. Now, Neptune Beach and Atlantic Beach, they sit north of Jacksonville Beach and have a slightly more residential, quieter feel. Think less tourist and more established neighborhoods. Strong community identity. Prices are going to be similar to Jacksonville Beach, but the vibe is definitely a lot more settled. And then Ponte Vedra Beach, this is where things get more elevated. Ponte Vedra Beach is not just a beach community. It's a luxury beach community. You've got TPC Sawgrass, So that's home of the Players Championship, one of the biggest tournaments in professional golf. You've got gated communities, oceanfront estates, and some of the most beautiful new construction I have ever toured. Prices typically start in the 600s, and there's just no ceiling, truly. This is for the market of buyers who you've done really well and you want your home to reflect that. Now, here's what I always tell my relocation clients about the beach communities. You've got to factor in flood insurance, wind mitigation, and homeowner insurance costs when you're budgeting. Insurance in coastal Florida, it's been a hot topic, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it with you. It's definitely a real cost, but for the right buyer, waking up minutes from the Atlantic Ocean every single morning is a lifestyle that's just, it's hard to put a price on it. Now, we're heading south a little bit to what I personally think is one of the most underrated relocation destinations in all of Northeast Florida, St. Augustine. St. Augustine is the oldest city in the United States, founded in 1565. And I tell you that not as a fun fact, but because it speaks to the character of this place. There is serious history here. There's beauty here. There's a sense of place that you don't find in brand new developments. The cobblestone streets, the historic architecture, the food scene, the art galleries, the lighthouse. St. Augustine is genuinely one of the most beautiful small cities I have ever been to. And people right now are discovering it in a big way. Now, here's the thing about St. Augustine, if you're relocating here, you've got two very different options depending on what you're looking for. If you want to live in that walkable, historic environment, you're going to be looking at older homes that have been beautifully maintained, and the price points vary quite widely. You can find smaller homes in like the 300s and stunning historic properties well into the 800s and beyond. This market's not really new construction, but it has incredible character. Now, for new construction, south and west of downtown, y'all, the communities going up around St. Augustine are stunning. Silverleaf is one I've been to multiple times. It's a master plan community with incredible amenities, gorgeous homes, and price points starting in the 400s. Iron Branch is another one. Luxury new construction, beautiful finishes, the kind of home that makes your jaw drop. And what makes these communities special is that you get brand new construction, good quality, while being just minutes from one of the most charming historic cities in America. That combination is rare. So who is St. Augustine for? For the buyer who wants something special, not just a house, not just a neighborhood. You want a place with some soul. And if that resonates with you, St. Augustine really might be your answer. All right, let's talk Middleburg. And I want to address something right away, because when I tell people about Middleburg, sometimes I kind of get this look like, where is that? And I get it, Middleburg does not have the same name recognition as like Ponte Vedra or St. Augustine, but here's what Middleburg does have: incredible value and a lifestyle that a very specific type of buyer is going to love. So Middleburg sits in Clay County, just southwest of Jacksonville, and what it offers that most of Northeast Florida simply cannot match is space. We're talking larger lots, more land, that rural feel where you're not directly looking into your neighbor's kitchen window. If you want acreage, if you want horses, if you want that peaceful country living vibe while still being a reasonable distance to Jacksonville and its amenities, Middleburg is your place. Price point wise, Middleburg is one of the more accessible markets in Northeast Florida for new construction. You can find beautiful brand new homes in the 300 to 500 price point out here. Jennings Farm is a community I've toured, and what strikes you immediately is just how much home you get for the price. These aren't starter homes. I mean, these are beautifully finished, spacious homes at price points that is unheard of in like St. Johns County or the beach communities. The commute to Jacksonville from Middleburg, though, I will say is real. And I want to be honest with you, you're looking at 30 to 45-minute drive to most of Jacksonville, depending on traffic and where you're headed. But for the right buyer, that trade-off is going to be worth it. If Middleburg sounds like it might be your speed, let's talk. I definitely know that market pretty well. Now, I want to talk about an area that more and more of my relocation clients are asking about, and that is Yulee, right here in Nassau County. Yulee sits just north of Jacksonville, and if you're coming from Georgia or the Carolinas, or really just anywhere up or southeast, This is gonna be the first part of Northeast Florida you're gonna encounter, and a lot of people are stopping right there because what they're finding is a community that is growing fast with serious value and a quality of life that is hard to beat. Nassau County has been one of the fastest growing counties in Florida over the last several years. You're 30 minutes from downtown Jacksonville. You're about 20 minutes from the beautiful Amelia Island, which, by the way, if you've never been to Amelia Island, put it on your list when you're visiting here because it is stunning and you're close to the Georgia border. So, which matters, you know, if you have family that way and you're making frequent trips back. Yulee has seen a wave of new construction come in. Communities with great amenities, solid finishes, and a price point that's really competitive. We're talking homes starting in the high 200s to 300s on the more accessible end, and then going up into the 400s and 500s for your more premium builds. For a buyer coming from the Northeast or the Midwest who's been paying, or you're used to paying $400,000 for something that needs work and has a tiny yard, what you get in Yulee for that same price is gonna feel like a completely different world. Now, who is Yulee for? The buyer who wants Florida living without Florida pricing. The family that's coming from out of state and wants to ease into the area without jumping straight into a $600,000 commitment. And honestly, for my relocation buyers who are moving down from Georgia or the Carolinas, Yulee makes a ton of logistical sense. If Nassau County is on your radar, reach out to me. I am watching this market very closely, and the opportunity here right now is very real. Now, let's go ahead and take a quick pause just for a second because I want to say something that's important. If any of these communities are just starting to resonate with you, if you're watching this and you're thinking, okay, that sounds like where I could actually see my family being happy, I need you to do one thing before you do anything else. Do not walk into a builder's sales office by yourself. I cannot stress this enough. Y'all, this is the single biggest mistake I have seen relocating buyers make. They find a community they love online, they drive down to visit or they fly in to visit, they walk into that sales office, and the on-site agent, you know, they're warm and friendly and quite helpful, and buyers think that person is on their side, but they're not. They work for the builder. Their entire job is to protect the builder's profit margin, not yours. And most buyers walk out of those offices having left thousands of dollars on the table and not even realizing it. Thousands. I created this channel for one reason, to make sure that that does not happen to you. When you work with me, you have somebody in your corner who knows these builders, who knows what incentives are actually available, and who knows which lots are worth the premium and which ones are not. And someone who is legally and professionally obligated to work in your best interest. And here's something most people, they don't realize. My services as your buyer agent, it costs you nothing. The builder pays my commission. You get expert representation completely free. So if this is a move, or if this move is getting real for you, reach out to me. My info is right there on the screen. Let's just have a conversation. There truly is no pressure, no commitment, but tell me where you're coming from, what you're looking for, and what your timeline looks like. And that's all I need. I'll take it from there. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Let's keep going. All right, so let's go ahead and just bring this all together because I know we've went through a lot of information and there is more, but I want to make sure that you leave this video with some clarity. If schools are your #1 priority, St. Johns County is your answer. Nocatee, Bartram Ranch, just A-rated school districts, incredible communities, great new construction. If you want that premium lifestyle and you have the budget for it, Ponte Vedra Beach. Luxury finishes, beach proximity, prestige communities. This is where your dollar goes the farthest compared to similar markets up north. If you want history, charm, and a beautiful new construction side by side, St. Augustine, Silverleaf, Iron Branch, gorgeous communities with a historic city as your backyard. Now, if you want space, land, and incredible value, Middleburg, Clay County is where your money stretches the farthest in terms of lot size and home size. Now, if you want to ease into Northeast Florida from the north, or you want strong value with growing community feel, Yulee and Nassau County. This market is moving fast. I'm watching it closely. And if you want city access, proximity to everything, and a range of price points that fits almost any budget, Jacksonville is your answer. South side, north side, west side, or just that urban core, depending on what you're looking for. Y'all, Northeast Florida has something for everyone. I genuinely believe that. And the number of people I talk to every single week who've made this move with me, they say it was the best decision of their lives. And that never gets too old to hear. Listen, if you made it to the end of this video, I already know something about you. I know you're serious about this. You're not just daydreaming anymore. You are actually thinking about making this happen. And I want you to know you're exactly who I built this channel for. I help buyers just like you find the communities and the homes that are the perfect fit for their lifestyle right here in Northeast Florida. So whether you're a family looking at St. Johns County schools, whether you're an empty nester who's finally ready to trade in those winters for something better, or maybe you're just somewhere in between and you just need somebody who actually knows this market to help guide you, that's what I do every single day, and that is why I am here. So here's what I want you to do now. Go ahead and subscribe. That way you don't miss out on any of the videos that we post weekly, and then reach out to me directly. Tell me what neighborhood caught your eye. Tell me where you're coming from. Tell me what your timeline looks like. And that's all I need to start putting together a real picture of what this move looks like for you. Again, no pressure, no commitment, just a conversation between two people trying to figure out if Northeast Florida is the right fit for your family. And then drop a comment below. Tell me what area actually surprised you, which one felt like home when I described it. I always read every comment. I respond to every single one of them because this channel is not just about content going out. This is a community of people making one of the biggest decisions of their lives, and I take that very, very seriously. Northeast Florida is one of the most special places I have ever lived in, and I get to wake up here every single day, and I cannot wait for you to experience it too. God bless you, truly I mean that, and I'll see you in the next one.